Welcome into Jets Nation Radio episode 9. I've done my math this time around. How's it
Oh,
going
you
there,
went
Sam?
counted.
I did count.
Love it.
Yes. So how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm on day 5 of my COVID quarantine. I dodged it for 2.5 years, but it finally got me while I was in Winnipeg last weekend. So I'm
Dang.
I'm losing my mind a little bit, but cleaned my whole apartment today. So we're starting the week off fresh.
Fresh. How many more days you got until you're free?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty like no symptoms today, so tomorrow I should be good to go. Still testing positive, but that can happen for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
So
yeah. So I wouldn't believe anything until... Hold on. That sounds like I'm conspiracy theorying, and I don't want to be that guy. This is a hockey podcast.
It was a very faint positive, but
Very
you're
faint
from
positive.
Alberta, so we expect that from you.
Whoa. We're not all anti-vaxxers. There's stats that say that some of us believe in that stuff. Uh, so big day for Canada. Winning the gold against the Americans
Yes.
today. How about that?
Shout out the Canadian women. I mean, I was a little worried because they lost in the round robin to the US, but I mean, Canada's not going to lose twice in one tournament. So
No, never. So, and I mean, we gotta give the real shout out to Brianne Jenner there. Like
both of them
twice in 20 seconds. Like,
I mean,
if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it right.
Yeah.
So I
never looked back.
No, she never did. So good for her. Good for Team Canada picking up back-to-back golds there. So, like, what could be better?
I'd love to see it.
You'd love to see that.
The women's it's a 2-team tournament. You know it's going to be Canada and US in the finals unless there's a major upset in the semis. Like Canada won their semifinals 8-1, and I think the US won it pretty handily too. So
yeah, I mean, like, eventually there's going to be the day where the Finnish women's team is going to come in and really start kicking some ass. I mean, the men's got to do it. Everyone else in the men's side has done it. So I believe that there's going to be a day where women's hockey is going to be just as competitive as the men's.
Absolutely. I just don't think that day is anytime soon because right now it's just Canada, US.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's going to come one of these days. Hockey's going to get big around the world.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's getting there. So if we can get more women out there putting some good words out for hockey, I'll take it. I'd love to see Finland and Sweden one day take it out for gold.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So also other big news, Sam Gagner, my childhood hero, right after Ryan Smith.
Something happened.
And like, I'm over the moon excited about it, even though it's like we got a fourth liner really in Sam Gagner.
I think it's a great signing.
I think we've replaced Eric Comrie. That's what we've done. Just in like that guy in the room, that presence. That's like,
it's like, Comrie's a goalie, right?
Yeah, Sam Gagner, just hell of a blocker out there. He blocked 39 shots.
I think Rittich replaced Comrie with the goaltender, but he's still that guy in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like Rittich does seem, at least watching his interviews, he seems like that guy. I think Gagner replaces Svechnikov in that sense.
We'll
get to Svech signing later.
Yeah. We'll get.
I think
what do you mean by that? That's interesting because like Sam Gagner is a good old boy from Ontario.
Svech was a good guy in the locker room, though. I think everyone loved him. He was hilarious, and I think Gagner maybe Rittich plays more of that role, and then Gagner plays more of the Comrie, just like everyone loves him, kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of guy. Yeah, that's basically what I was thinking with the two of them. So it's not like a sexy signing, but it's one that doesn't kill the Jets in one way, and it doesn't really help them a whole lot. I mean, great penalty killer. He's been doing that for the last few years. He has a pedigree to score. Like, Sam Gagner is going to be a good fit here in Winnipeg.
I think so too. Where do you think he fits in the lineup?
I think he kicks Ton Nato out. I think he takes that center line or center spot in the fourth.
I disagree. So I think he's okay. If you look at daily faceoff, Vesalainen's not going to be a Jet next year.
That's also correct.
You have to take him out. So Toninado's, I think, solid in that fourth line center. Gagner, we need a right-handed right winger.
We do. We need a fourth line guy. He
has to be on the right wing. I think he might even be on the third line and Appleton on the fourth. But I think it also depends just how guys kind of like go together.
Yeah. Well, and if bonus is giving out that more equal time, yeah, I'd be all right with seeing Appleton on like a 9 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think both the third and fourth line are going to be more similar in that way. So I think a third line of Barron, Lowry, and Gagner would be really good. And then you have Harkins, Toninato, and Appleton. But that left wing, anywhere in that line, you could slide Gustafsson or Reichel as well. So I think those will kind of be the 13th, 14th forwards that kind of rotate in a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. There could be another like depth signing late in the summer, but yeah, I think Gagner could be a third line guy. And if you want to argue shuffling up the lines more, you like spreading out the scoring a bit more, moving Wheeler to Lowry's wing, and having a guy like Appleton or Barron or Gagner move up to, say, I don't know, if you go like Scheifele, Ehlers, Perfetti, Connor, Dubois, and then like Gagner on the right wing.
Ooh, listen, I love Gagner. Don't get me wrong.
Or Appleton or Barron on that right wing.
I think,
and then Lowry. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there is that option to spread out the scoring a bit more, so it's not just a top six, like a clear top six and a clear bottom six.
We could have one of those messy teams. That would be really interesting to see.
I've always thought with Kopp in the lineup, I thought they should have done that more, where Kopp could be on that second line winger. And I know Appleton had a really rough year last year, but he was in Seattle. So
yeah, I think you want to say
the potential to have that bounce back this year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want to talk about depressing cities. Seattle really has its number cut out for it. So, but yeah, I think if Sam Gagner is playing in your top six, there needs to be a huge emergency button hit. So
yeah, I don't think it'll be him. I think it's a lot more likely to be Appleton. I'm just saying, like, okay. I think there is that chance to kind of spread out the scoring a bit more.
Sorry, I fixated on that for a couple of seconds. I was like, oh, we need to pump the brakes hard, because I could guarantee you somebody's screaming about it.
That was not as bad of a take as your Rittich starting in playoffs. I'm never going to let you live that one.
No, man. It's
not even close to as bad of a take as that.
That's not even that bad of a take. Like,
such a bad take.
Okay, listen.
You're a Vezina winner as your starter.
If the guy is hot, you run a guy till he's not hot anymore. You just run him.
Your take wasn't if he's hot going into the playoffs. Your take was let Hellebuck play like 80 games and then just play Rittich in the playoffs.
I still stand by that too. You just go for okay. Here's what I'm saying: is you got to go for madness. Sergei Fedorov over in the KHL.
Yes, I wanted to talk about that too. That was insane.
So overtime, first overtime of the year, he puts out 4 players rather than 3. Removes his goalie.
No, he started with 3. As soon as they won the face-off, goalie goes to the bench.
Yeah,
they had puck control.
Yeah, they had puck control.
Wild.
But yeah, no, it was just a ballsy move, and I respect it. And sometimes crazy is what works.
Do we see that in the NHL this year?
I hope so. I hope somebody.
Last year, we started to see some teams, including the Jets, do 3 forwards.
Yep,
which I like.
Well, I mean, that was Pomo 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and then he
2 years ago.
Yeah, he started during the North year, which was like, it was great. Yeah. They were winning all these overtimes, and then all of a sudden he just like, no, we're gonna go back to the 2-1. And it's like, dude, we need a scorer.
I think a crazy. There's got to be a crazy head coach in the NHL out there that might just do that, win the face-off. I mean, Edmonton maybe. McDavid, Draisaitl, Kane, or McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse. You win the face-off. You pull the goalie and put on Kane or someone. Like,
it'd be insane.
I could see it happening.
And that's probably McDavid pulling the strings on that one, not
Kane.
But no, like if
are there any Russian head coaches in the NHL?
I don't. Is there? I don't know. But if Rick Bowness grows his mullet like we've been pushing him to do, that's the kind of guy that I would expect.
Way too defensive. No, he's way too defensive.
Oh, I know he is. He's
something like that.
He's an old school guy, but maybe he's just like, listen, I'm on my last legs. let's just go for crazy. See what happens here. If he grows his mullet, I'm calling that the crazy bonus here, and I think it would be insane.
I'm all for utter bedlam. I'm here for the craziness. So
I live for crazy.
That's absolutely
why I've been pushing to do. We'll talk about this later, so I'm not gonna spoil anything. So, but it's good news.
Okay.
But we're not spoiling anything. But okay. Either way, yeah, the craziness is what gets people places. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, let's have some anarchy.
Anarchy wins. I mean, if we got a team that was just composed of fighters, I'd be down to watch that team every other night.
That would be so boring because no one's going to fight you. You can't just jump guys anymore.
No. It wouldn't be like jumps, but you just have a team of just dirty players. And I would just love to see just absolute mayhem take over the NHL.
Brendan Lemieux and you know who I miss?
Who?
Anthony Peluso. That guy could chuck. He was such a good fighter.
Okay, yeah. Who is your favorite fighter of all time?
Peluso's got to be up there.
Yeah, that's
fair. I don't know. I wasn't obviously loved watching the fighting, but I wasn't a big let's go fighters guy. Like Rick Rippon, I'll always have a special place in my heart for when he was a Moose. I'm trying to think back to the Moose days.
Oh yeah. Man, those old school legendary jerseys.
I loved going to Moose games. Jason Jaffrey, Mike Keane, Kevin Bieksa.
Right? And it's just so many crazy names just pass through that organization.
Corey Schneider. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the Vancouver days were
Fedorov's
crazy.
brother was a Moose.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I also think Bieksa knocked him out in the Earls Polo Park parking lot. I'm pretty sure that's the story. And that's how he got called up to the team. Because Berkey just loved fighters.
He did. Berkey's a gem. I'm just one of those guys who loves old school hockey where it's I didn't love the cheating, but I love this the ass kickery.
Yeah. That's who could chuck him? Jerome McGinley.
Oh, Iggy could chuck. Again, this is the Oilers fan in me, but I hated playing against McGinley, but man, I respected that guy.
Yeah. If you would count him as a fighter, even though he's a Hart Trophy winner and over 1,000 points in the Hall of Fame, if you count him as a fighter, he's got to, because he's my favorite player of all time. So he's got to be my favorite fighter.
Fair enough. I can't even debate that. I loved watching Theo Peckham with the Oilers. He was a trash hockey player, but man, just watching him throw mitts, it was lovely. When everyone's done listening to this podcast, go over to hockeyfights.com. It's just a great website. I love killing
and you know who can chuck him?
Bogo.
No.
Oh, Laurie. Sorry.
Bogo could too. Bogo could throw, and he still can. I think these two fought this year, didn't they?
I believe they did. Yeah.
Bogo fought someone on the Jets this year, so
I'm 90% sure it was because I've been watching a lot of Jets fights this year. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure he and Lowry fought.
Yeah, they did. That was towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
What a fight. Yeah. Go to hockeyfights.com, everyone.
After the podcast.
Website. After the podcast. We need those listener minutes. I'm just being honest. We need more people listening to this podcast. Tell friends about it. Man, we have gotten really off the rails here. My bad, everyone.
That's what makes a good podcast, though.
It really does.
We didn't have too much planned today, so
no.
Fighting was good.
Yeah. So, Svechnikov, Evgeny Svechnikov off to San Jose, 2-way deal, league min.
Yeah. Why 350 in the A, 750 in the NHL.
Yeah. Why is he getting such a raw deal? Because it's I thought he was a half decent player. He was
and there's people you see on Jets Twitter talking Svechnikov should have been on the second line all last year.
Yeah.
And there were times I would have argued the same thing. But what do these keyboard warriors know that 32 NHL GMs don't? Because any team would have signed a guy who could be on the second line, or even on the third line for $1 million. But obviously people don't think he's that guy. I don't know if it's an attitude thing. He seems to be so lovable, but maybe in the room he's just a cancer. So what do they know that we don't is my question, because the 2-way shocked me. The league min shocked me. I thought at least a mil. And if that was going to be the price, and maybe it would have been a different price come arbitration, but why would the Jets not qualify him if that was going to be the price? And it obviously would have been more, but even if it was a mil or 1.2 in arbitration,
yeah,
would you not want that on your team right now? A guy that could move up and play in that second line role with Dubois and Connor if there's an injury? Because right now the Jets don't have forward depth.
No, not at all. Like, I mean, when Sam, like, again, going back to Gagner, it's like, yeah, it's great that he's a fourth line guy, but after that, who's filling that?
One injury away from being a second or a third liner is a problem.
That as well. It's
like, I do think Morgan Barron's going to be that guy that moves up this year, but I mean, the Jets need another signing bump. I don't think Toninato will bump out. I would almost see Harkins bumping out. I think Toninato, when he got in, was great last year.
Really? You would bump Harkins out?
I don't know. It depends on what kind of camp they have. It depends on how guys are playing once the season starts and kind of who can slot into that lineup. But I think Toninato is a good hockey player. And I like Harkins mostly because he wears number 12. But I like Harkins, but I could see either of them. I don't think Barron's going to be coming out. Appleton's not. So we'll see once the season gets underway. And hopefully there is another signing. Like, is Sonny Milano still available?
Still out there? Yes.
I would love to see the Jets sign him.
Or even Rodriguez too. Like, why is that guy not signed yet?
Yeah, did he not just sign? I thought someone just signed recently.
Sam Steele.
Sam Steele, that's it.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So unrestricted free agents: PK Subban, Louis Eriksson, Calvin Don. Those guys are all too expensive. That's by their previous cap hit. I can't believe PK's not signed anywhere.
No, I'm very shocked about that as well.
Bring Cody Eakin back.
Cody Eakin, the legend.
Rocco Grimaldi's not signed anywhere. He could be a depth guy. Sonny Milano, no qualifying offer. I would love to see the Jets sign him.
Again, like, that goes back to why hasn't anyone signed him? Like, is his camp asking for like 3 or 4 mil or what?
You know who's a UFA right now?
Who?
Frenchie.
Oh my goodness, Frenchie.
I would love for them to give. I mean, he was on a $950,000 deal last year. I'd be completely fine with the Jets doing that, or like a league min if he would take it. Yeah. Apparently he liked Winnipeg. The fans loved him. He was getting paid too much while he was here, but
bring him back. See what second tour.
I would think that would be a good depth side. He's getting older. We haven't seen him in a couple years in a Jets uniform, so who knows how he's doing now. But that's a signing I wouldn't hate.
Like, you got to bring guys into the room that vibe with the room, somebody that's positive. And if you're going to bring a guy like that in, like, you have to guarantee that he's going to mesh with your locker room.
Your one stipulation has to be he has to grow the hair back.
Oh, that's absolutely true.
Jesus.
He was getting French Jesus. He was starting to get pretty gray there towards the end of his tenure with the Jets.
Yeah, I still think he was a solid NHL player. Yeah. People just shit on him because he was getting 4.5.
Yeah.
But that's not his fault.
No, again,
it's the same thing with Kulikov. Kulikov was a good, like, he should have been in the NHL. I won't say good, but he was like a solid 5-6 defenseman, but he was getting way too much money. So Jets fans hated him.
Yeah.
I think they're like, people need to realize these guys at the end of their contracts, it's going to be the same thing with Wheeler probably. These guys at the end of their contracts kind of don't deserve that money, but that's how you get them to Winnipeg.
Well, people have been complaining about Wheeler's money because he can't score the 92 points, but it's like that guy had his deal given to him because he earned that money. He wasn't paid properly before. So everyone needs to settle down.
With a very slow start to the season, he still led the team in assists.
Yeah.
And I know he gets a lot of minutes, but I think Wheeler's going to I think everyone's going to bounce back this year. I'm way too optimistic. I love it.
Oh, that's a big ass spider. I don't like that. Sorry. if I just die, like we know why. There's a big old spider here.
You're so distracted for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, I am.
Don't kill it. Just kill it.
No, he's doing his thing. He's taking care of the bugs.
Okay.
Just might be poisonous. Crap. Where were we?
Just me on the pod. You'll know what happened.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, where were we? Matty Perreault.
Yeah, we're talking depth and forwards.
Yeah.
I still think Sonny Milano, but there are guys out there who I know Chevy's gonna throw another, like Nate Thompson or Trevor Lewis or one of those depth older signings. Riley Nash last year, who ended up getting waived, but I know Chevy's going to throw another one of those. Gagner was one of them, but there will be another one towards camp.
Do you think he's going to have any sort of PTOs? Chevy's not a PTO guy.
Svech was on a PTO. I think partially that was a long-term IR type thing with figuring out little stuff. Luckily, the Jets don't have to deal with that this year because there's a certain date where if you don't have that long-term IR used, you lose it, which is just so stupid. Yeah. So it was, I think that was a contract shuffling type thing last year. And there were some send downs to start the season that were like that as well. But luckily that's Little's off to his contract at least is in Arizona. So luckily the Jets won't have to deal with that this year.
Yeah. I just really hope they sign into a one-day contract at the end of it all.
They will, for sure. He'll retire a Jet. I mean, he spent his entire career with Atlanta and Winnipeg. So
just
I can't see him doing anything else.
Yeah. Well, hell of a podcast here.
Yeah. Just all over the place.
Just all over the place at the best of times. So very sorry if you're like invested in this podcast.
I think that was good.
That was fun. I also agree about that. And I mean, us jerking ourselves off talking about how great our podcast is reminds me, you should be following Jets Nation on all sorts of social media. We are on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Really, that's it. But chuck us a follow and also make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast. That would be
before we let you go, how was the Goldeye's game?
How was
your first experience at a Winnipeg Goldeyes game?
So I got the nacho helmet because of course I did. They had Power 97's Torque Ale. Fantastic. Whoever came up with that one, 10 out of 10 because it was delicious.
Shout out Torque, sponsor our podcast.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting up to talking about there. It's like, if you want to get yourself sponsored on this podcast, please contact us.
And did you have a beer bat?
No, I didn't. They're like $23, and it's like I'll just enjoy
That's a lot of beer though.
It's like a tall boy and a half. So it's like, oh, cool.
That's it. Oh,
yeah. I think it's 23 ounces. So whatever that is.
Not a lot.
No. So I was just like, I don't need the giant beer bat. I'll just drink the Torque beer all night.
What about for the gram? Gotta do it for the pictures. Come on.
Always for the pictures. I got my one photo for my story, and that was all I needed.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, the Goldeyes lost, but big old fireworks at the end of it. It's, you know what? If you want a great way to entertain the family for like, I know it's still $100, but it's a fun time.
I mean,
there's not a bad seat in the house.
No, absolutely not. There's also the roof deck. I think it was clay oven before. I think it's still the same. You can sit up, have dinner, and watch the game.
And fantastic Indian food too.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
okay, so baseball. We talked a little baseball now. On the football.
Oh yes,
Labor Day Classic prediction.
Labor Day Classic. My prediction is, well, obviously a big Bombers win. They're on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little worried, but it's gonna be fine.
It's Saskatchewan.
They keep squeaking out the wins, so
yeah. But I mean, it's Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan's been pretty bad.
Yeah, but the Labor Day Classic's a different beast.
I'm well aware of what
it's going to be tough no matter what.
Yep, 100% it is. But Bombers figured out a way to win basically all the games this year. So
yeah, they should have won that other one if Legio could kick.
Oh man, poor Legio.
Still some scarring there, but yeah, I think it's got to be the Bombers. They might not lose again. You never know.
Yeah.
They got that one out of the way. I was going to be worried if they were going into this game 11-0 because you don't want to lose your first game to Sask.
No, because Riders fans are the worst.
Oh, the worst.
So loud, so obnoxious. Like my old man and I would go to formerly Elks or whatever. We'd go to Elks games together, and I don't know how to call it in the
Edmonton
past.
football team.
The Edmonton football team. We'd go watch them, and like I'd always choose a Saskatchewan game because I just hated them so much. And like, you know what? If I'm gonna go watch a football game, I at least want to hate the fans that are also here.
That's fair.
And also 50-50 got stupid big during those games, like well over $125,000.
I'm the opposite when it comes to Jets games, though. I hate going to like Leafs or Canadian games because you just have to, or even like Bruins, any original six, really.
Yeah.
You just have to listen to the fans. And it's like when the Jets are doing well, it's one thing, but when they're struggling a bit, it's like, I don't want to hear like 1,000 Leafs and Canadians fans cheer. They're just
well, it's like, again, I grew up an Oilers fan. So my first game in Winnipeg was an Oilers-Jets game. And the Oilers torched the Jets like 6-2. But the Jets got to score first, like within the first 28 seconds. So I was like, you guys got to enjoy the start of the game. And I still got to walk away feeling like a champion. So, but I'm a loud jackass when it comes to games. I'll run my mouth all game long. Oh man, you pop a couple beers in me, I'll start running my mouth. Like Moose games. Oh, the worst.
Oh, good times.
I've made refs feel bad about themselves.
Of course you have.
And yeah, if I wasn't working in Dauphin, I probably would have been kicked out of an MJHL game. But you know, have to keep it PG when you're the radio man in a small town.
And when you're the mascot, who's going to be Rory now?
I don't know. They had like some 17-year-old doing mascot stuff. So
maybe you'll get replaced. If not, you're gonna have to make your way up here for some games.
Well, if gas wasn't $1.67 right now, maybe I'd consider it. But
hey, that's not much compared to what it was earlier in the summer.
Oh well, I just went out to Alberta last week, and it was like $1. I found a spot for $1.29.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm still not happy about it.
Were they pulling it out of the ground right beside the station?
Must have. It's like
a lot of transportation costs in Alberta.
Oh man. Well, this is just like my little beef, but I hate the fact that Canadians spend so much on gasoline. It's like we have a big old reserve right there, like 1,600 kilometers away. Why the hell do we not have our cheaper gas? And that's as political as we'll get today.
Yes, it is. So
yeah, because I can go
Jets Nation on all social medias.
Yeah. And then follow myself on Instagram and Twitter, Angus Hout. Yeah, give some love there. You'll occasionally get crazy tweets from me being concerned about people eating fake fruit at IKEA.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's not surprising that people are eating that fruit. People are dumb.
I know.
You can find me, Sam Brownell Radio, on Instagram, SBrownell12 on Twitter, although I am never there. Yeah, listen to me on 730 CKDM, Radio Player Canada, doing the news.
Yeah. Just get fired up. And like Jets Nation Twitter, man, that is a blast of an account to follow.
And tweet at all the nation's accounts, especially Oilers Nation, telling them to
bring back jetsnation.ca. We'll hashtag this baby.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back. We're gonna bring it back. We just need your help if you happen to have a business
or a Twitter account,
or both. Yeah, we can sponsor you on this podcast.
You don't even need a business to sponsor the podcast. We'll just say your name a bunch of times.
Heck, if
you're a fan, just give us some money and we'll shout you out.
$50, I will give you 4 free shout outs and I will mention you by however you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, get a hold of us. Jets Nation. And if you hung out this long, you're a beauty. Have yourself a fabulous day, and we'll talk to you next Sunday. I'll be out in Foxwar and harvesting at that point, but I will be talking to you.
We'll figure it out. It might be. We might have to do like a Monday pod next weekend. My parents are in.
Oh, never mind. Sam wants to spend time with his mom and dad. That's understandable.
We'll figure it out. It might be a little late next weekend. Your harvest day, and I have my parents here, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Peace and grace, friends. We'll talk to you again next week sometime.
Have a great week.
Bye.